Hello. I don't think they're clapping for me.
Hello.
I think you know our guest. He's a soccer legend, football legend, I should say. And he was one of the main reasons in 2002, world champions Brazil won the World Cup when he scored one of the best goals against England. So welcome, Ronaldinho. Welcome to Saudi Arabia. Welcome to the Miss Global Forum. We're very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And we're here to talk about the discipline and the fun, because football is fun, that it takes to make a team work and that it takes to win. And you know, you once said that the world applauds those who don't think only about themselves, but think about the group as a whole. So when you're a star like this, when you get all that attention, how does it work in a team? How do you make a team work? You once said that the world applauds those who just don't think of themselves only, but they think of themselves as a group, as a team. But when you're a star, such as yourself, and you've gotten all that attention, how does it work within a team? How do you make it work?
At the Brazilian national team, we are very friendly, we are a close group. I was lucky enough in a team of stars. Cafu, Roberto Carlos, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, among others. And we all respect each other. So in account to that, of this respect and all being clever, and we all understood what should be done to make it win, to make it work, and to win a tournament of this importance. So everyone forgot their individualness, so work as a team.
The reason I'm asking is because when you know you're that good, when you know you're, one of the biggest stars, not only of the Brazilian team, but as the world as a whole, isn't it hard to be just one of the 11 soccer players or football players on the team?
For me, it was wonderful, because my history, to get this team, these players, was a very beautiful one. Some of them I idolized them, and later I got to play for them, and we won titles together. And the way they behaved themselves as a team members and towards me, it was very important for my career.
So for those who, I don't know if everybody has their thing, but he says that it was, for him, it was an honor because part of the team that he was playing as, some of the players he actually also idolized. And so for him, it was an honor and a privilege to play with a team and be part of the 11. How do you keep the discipline? How do you discipline yourself to work that hard?
Throughout my career, we had a planning. And I always worked hard. Towards this planning, and God gave me the privilege to play football. So my happiest moment during my days is when I was training, when I was playing. For me, it was fun. There was no sacrifice. It was a privilege to do what he loved, to do what I love.
You say it's a privilege. You say it's a God-given talent, and we got to talk a little bit about this before the panel, and you said it is a God-given talent to have the capabilities and the qualities that you have and the tactics that you have, but it's also practice, and you said you enjoyed practice, you enjoyed training so much.
Yes, I've always liked to have a ball around me. It was my best moment of the day, to be in contact with football. So it continues to be like that, and I'm happy when I have a ball. When I have a ball near me, I'm very happy with a ball. I don't suffer in training. I've never suffered for playing. For me, it was always a happy moment. It was always a wonderful moment for me.
It's always a wonderful moment for you. You're saying when you're next to a football, it's always the happiest moment. And, now that you've retired, what lessons can you tell us from your teamwork at the time? I mean, if you can tell me about a moment or something that stayed with you from 2002, from your time playing the championships in 2005, 2006. So if there's any lesson that you had, what is it? to share with our audience?
Oh, it's very difficult to say that. I've always been in groups. Since I was 7, I was among groups. I mean, football is a group sport, so we always within a group. And all of the players, all of the group members, they understand that we depend on each other, regardless of our skills. The understanding of each one weaknesses and strengths is what makes a group strong. So it's one completing the other. You have to be humble enough where you're not so good at, and prepare yourself to receive help from the others, and be willing to help your colleague as well, your team members as well, so that we can make this group work and this team work, to be a winning one, successful one.
He says humility is important and staying humble no matter, how you achieve, especially when you're working within a team. How do you face difficulties and failures? Because, when you're a star, when you're a legend, the expectations go up so high. But then with highs come lows as well. How do you face those, especially when you're in the public eye? Did you ever have any failures?
I failed a lot of times. Football is like that. You cannot always win. You have to always seek a lesson from the losses, from the defeats, from the hard moments, in order not to make the mistakes and not to lose again. I've always faced the defeats, those moments that that I didn't succeed. So I always looked back, tried to analyze what went wrong, and make of that experience a learning lesson in order not to fail again. So I always react like that.
I love that he says that. When you fail, you have to look back and take it as a lesson and analyze it in order not to fail again. Ronaldinho is not only, it's interesting, and we were talking about this with Mr. Richard backstage. It's a brand. You've become a brand that makes younger people dream, hope. How do you view your brand today, Ronaldinho?
It's very difficult to talk about yourself, to see yourself in this way. To speak as a brand to the youngs, to the youth. I just try to share my experience, my life experience, what saved my life, what gave me happiness, that was football. So every child I see, I try to bring, to follow my footsteps, because I think it's a wonderful environment. I'm very happy with what I do, with playing football. So what I've done is that. So I like to pass this message of someone who was very happy doing his profession, which was playing football. So I'm still a very happy person.
It's difficult to view yourself as a brand. Okay, I understand you're trying to be modest. But I also noticed, because we follow you on social media, we're going to do this in 2 minutes. We follow you on social media, and it's interesting because you've done a tour. You're doing a tour. You've been to Kenya, to Japan, to Morocco, now to Saudi Arabia. What are your current projects about?
After I stopped playing, I have my soccer academies, the Ronaldinho Soccer Academy. That's what I'm proud of. It gives me pleasure to give opportunities to children, to players from all over the world, from every age. For those who dream about playing football in the future, to give them the opportunity to give something back and say thanks to football for whatever football has given me, and also to provide opportunities for all the kids that dream about being a player. And music. I love music, and I love working on music.
One last question, and I'm going to ask this myself in French. What would it be? One piece of advice. Oh, I still need this.
That's that try hard, train hard, read as much as you can, and regardless of the profession, you have to dedicate, you have to put an effort, you have to put a strong effort, because without an effort, you don't go anywhere.
Train hard, try hard. Practicing and love football. So a few of you